Welcome to Go Legal Yourself podcast, episode 49, title, New Tax Laws and What They Mean for Small Business Owners. Welcome to the Go Legal Yourself podcast. This show is about knowing the legal life cycle of your business. I'm your host, Attorney Kelly Bagler, the Queen of Business Law. You can interact with us on social media, and please do find us on the web at golegalyourself.com. This podcast is about knowing the legal life cycle of your business, and by knowing where you are, it's much easier to become successful. Get ready for a life-changing show as we empower all business owners and entrepreneurs to dare to become successful. Back by popular demand, I'm very excited to be interviewing Kasey Ortiz, the one and only tax tip diva, a go-getter, no-nonsense, straight shooter, and a successful business owner. Welcome, Kasey.
Hi, Kelly. Thank you so much for having me.
It is so great to have you back. Again, by popular demand, listeners, you have to go to episode 17. That was when I first interviewed Kasey, and she just brought the house down. We could spend at least an hour talking about that episode, but I'm sure you've got more important and exciting news to share with our listeners, Kasey. And we are going to be talking about the new law. I believe in episode 17, we were talking about taxes and keeping clean books.
Yes, we were. And so this time we're going to talk about how this new tax reform is impacting our business owners and what the things that they need to know and some changes they probably need to make if they haven't already done so.
Fantastic. And before we do start, do you have an attorney joke you can share with our audience?
You know what? I don't, because I try not to joke about that, because everyone needs a business attorney in their corner, and it's really not a joking matter. But I'm sure you have something funny that you'd like to tell
I
us.
have loads, but I'm not going to even go there. But I'm not quite sure whether our listeners know that you are a Marine.
Yes, I am a proud Marine Corp veteran. I served on active duty almost 6 years before I was required to take a medical discharge, which then helped me and is a stepping stone and catalyst for me to do taxes. So, yes, and I am very proud, and I come from a long line of service in my family.
Thank you so much for your service, Kasey. And we love the military, active and retired. As you know, Brent, my husband, he's also a veteran.
And we love Brent.
We love Brent. We do. With or without pants, we love Brent.
There you go.
That's an internal joke, by the way.
But it's very honest.
It is. So let's talk about that other very sexy topic, Kasey. No, not law. We're going to be talking about taxes. That's right.
You know, it is the most humorous and sexy topic that you could probably bring up in a crowded room.
There you
Just
go.
bring everybody to their hands or bring them to their knees, one of the two.
And I'm sure you can do both.
Oh, my. I think we better go ahead and get started on this topic.
I think we need to, yes. So, enlighten the listeners, Kasey. Oh, by the way, did you know that this podcast, Go Legal Yourself, has gone international?
Oh, my good. Well, hello, everyone, everywhere. I don't know why I'm sitting here waving like you can see me, but if we were viewing, like taping this so that they could see me, they would see I'm very excited and I'm waving at everybody.
Absolutely. We are an international show. I'm so excited about that.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. And it's been just over a year, actually. Over a year. But when I introduced you, Kasey, I did introduce you as the one and only tax tip diva. You need to make sure that you share with us what that business is and how we can help you become more successful as well. But before we go there, let's talk about that sexy topic.
So this year, taxes proved to be probably the most challenging in well over 30 years.
This year meaning 2019.
So 2019, for all of the preparers and professionals, taxpayers, individuals, everyone filing taxes for the 2018 tax year, this year in 2019, is probably going to be the most challenging in 30 years. And that's because of the number of tax law changes that were ushered in and enacted and put into place for 2018.
Oh, I haven't heard. There's a new law, is there? Taxes?
Oh, my goodness. So many that even professionals like myself were absolutely stunned at the enormity of the changes that were taken on within one tax year. Never has anything, a tax overhaul like this happened since, I believe, 1986.
Wow.
So it's pretty massive.
Wow. And I'm sure you are going to touch upon the top ones that really business owners need to pay attention to.
I am. The first thing I want to let all business owners know is something that goes hand in hand with them and their bookkeeper or CPA, whoever's keeping their record-keeping books. It has to do with the meals and entertainment type deduction. In the past, you could take clients out to dinner and do certain things and write it off 100% for certain things, and that is no more. And that was enacted last year. So unfortunately, if a business owner was not aware of it or their bookkeeper was not aware of it and did not educate the business owner, they may have incorrectly classified some of their business meals. Now, what I will tell them is the good news. The good news is if you do a business presentation and it's open to the public, or even a small business presentation where you're actually talking or showing a product or reviewing like that, then that type of meal expense is 100% deductible.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Fantastic.
Other types are limited to 50%, and then there's others where you get zero. We don't like zero.
No, we don't.
The only time we like zero is when we pay zero tax.
Correct.
So we don't like zero when it comes to being able to deduct an expense. So that's first and foremost. So if you have not spoken with your record-keeping person, then you need to do that immediately. You need to talk to your tax professional, and you need to start making sure that you break out your meal expenses in your record-keeping with your CPA or whoever's keeping that. Something new this year is what is considered the 199A deduction. And what that offers business owners is a 20% reduction of business income from their taxable income. So that is a very complicated calculation. It's not a straight one-line calculation, and it is definitely something that you need to see a tax professional if you have a business where that could possibly benefit you. So
I'm so sorry. So the audience knows, Kasey, they know that I have 5 dogs, my associates, and they know they're always around when we're recording and interviewing guests for the show. So the snoring that you might hear in the background, audience, it's one of my associates. It's okay. Let's push
the
on,
main
shall
associate, Miss Bella.
My Bella Boo, yes.
Okay.
So can you break that down a little bit further? The
199A.
199A. Can you give us an example?
So that actual deduction is labeled that because it's from a code.
Right.
So like a policy.
Right.
So it's a section of the revenue code that is giving business owners this deduction. So it's based on the qualified business income. So that's the key words you want to look for: qualified business income, and what the IRS considers qualified business income. It also eliminates certain occupations. So certain occupations are excluded from taking this special business deduction. What I'm going to do is, because it is such a lengthy and detailed explanation and topic, I will make available to your viewers that listen to your podcast a brief synopsis. I'll do a what I consider an e-sheet on that topic that they can go ahead and download if they go to your website.
That's awfully giving of you. Thank you so much, Kasey. I mean, I certainly know that the listeners will appreciate that immensely. And so the way you can actually view that e-sheet is to go on to download the app, Go Legal Yourself from your app stores, and connect with us. And you can actually view the attachments right there and use those for your taxes as well. Taxes in itself is a very difficult topic, let alone actually having them done for your business. So again, knowledge is power, and this is what we bring you.
Exactly. Another tax topic that I would like to speak about, and this is something that would transition for individuals and business owners, because I know there are a lot of businesses out there that are starting to accept Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. And in the past, there have been very vague type of background or information regarding cryptocurrency and how the IRS handles it. However, again, I will have a special e-sheet that I will make available regarding some of the information that the IRS has given out regarding the tax treatment of Bitcoin. But just as a quick overview, the IRS believes that virtual currency is property. It is treated as property. So a taxpayer that receives virtual currency as payment for goods and services has to include the fair market value of that in their income.
Yeah, it's not a surprise. It will be taxed, correct?
It will be taxed. And even though there might not be clear guidelines or reporting guidelines for individuals or business owners, just know that the IRS is watching in secret. So it's very clear that they have, I won't say fake or dummy profiles, but they do have undercover profiles where they're researching and connecting with businesses and individuals in the crypto world so that they can see how these things are tracked, what type of things are happening, what type of transactions are taking place, so that they then know how to create the policies and the procedures going forth to tax cryptocurrency.
They're always watching.
They're always watching.
You've seen Monsters, Inc., haven't you?
I have.
Always watching you. Wisnowski.
Yes.
I told you taxes is sexy.
It's hilarious, if nothing else.
There you go. There you go.
So, in essence, what I really want to impress upon the listeners is that if you're dealing in cryptocurrency and the United States, the federal IRS is very well versed and very well educated in the topic and some of the main transaction and cryptocurrency bank holders, account holders, and things like that. So protect yourself. Make sure that you seek out a knowledgeable tax professional that knows about cryptocurrency and the taxation of it.
Perfect. And what else should the business owner be really focused on based on the new laws?
So Another thing for business owners, there are a few tax credits that a business owner can take. Or so if they're a new business owner that started up this year, there's a $5,000 expense deduction for first year startup.
That's fantastic, Kasey, because Go Legal Yourself, it does sell startup packages, and that's exactly how much they cost. It includes everything, and it's a flat fee for $5,000.
My goodness. So I don't know where you can go and speak to an attorney and get everything for one price. So that's amazing. Kudos.
Thank you. Thank you. And that's 100% expense.
It is expense.
That's 100% expense.
It is an expense. I did a live tax tip course on receipts and record keeping and some of the business year end, and I spoke about the new depreciation rules and how you can expense up to the dollar limit, and that was my main topic. Expense it.
That's fantastic. In fact, I actually have a workshop coming up. It is February 5th. And I believe this podcast is going to be out on the same day, February 5th.
Awesome.
And just in time for taxes, because I wanted to make sure that people had enough time to listen to the podcast and reach out to you, because I know they're going to be reaching out to you after this episode.
Well, thank you so much.
Of course.
I really look forward to being able to help the business owners, which just leads me to tell you a little bit about the Tax Tip Diva. Mm-hmm. So I created the Tax Tip Diva. It is a social media platform. It's an online platform where I educate business owners and individuals and help take the fear out of taxes.
The fear out of taxes, yes.
Because when you say taxes or when you say legal, people have a way of tensing up, becoming nervous, scared. It might be genuine based upon a past experience. It might be from just not understanding or knowing or hearing other people's horror stories. So what I do on my platform, the Tax Tip Diva, which is the platform I use on Facebook and Instagram, I offer tax tips, bite-sized tax tips, I would say, that help you understand how taxes affect your bottom line, how they affect your money, and what a tax professional actually expects from you, the individual, and the business owner. And I did this because I have my own storefront brick and mortar business, which I've owned over 14 years now.
That's pretty incredible.
Thank you so much. And in that time, I've been a guest speaker at many organizations. I've also, of course, dealing with my clients in office or consultations, and I would get feedback all the time, and people would say, nobody ever asked me that, or nobody ever told me that, or nobody ever explained that to me, or I didn't know that. And after hearing that for so many years and consistently and constantly, it made me aware that there's a lot of misinformation out there or lack of information.
There you go. Exactly. I found the same thing, but in legal. People would say, I don't know that. I had no idea I had to do that. And I'm incorporated, but I've never ever done my annual minutes. Well, that means absolutely nothing. As far as the state's concerned, you don't have that legal protection. I know. She's literally pulling her hair out, as am I too. So she understands the pains. I absolutely understand the pains too, because you're absolutely right, Kasey, that taxes and legal are scary. And it's okay. It's okay because you didn't go to law school, or you didn't go and take a tax course and educate yourself in the tax laws. It's okay. That's why you have Kasey and I here.
Yes. And so I created the Tax Tip Diva so that I could reach more people. I could reach people through this podcast. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, trust me, the pleasure's all ours.
And get information out that's going to help people. That is how I got started in the tax industry anyway in the beginning. Like I said before, I'm a Marine Corp veteran. I had a medical discharge and I received a lump sum of money. And just like everybody else, I went to one of those big tax agencies and gave them my paperwork. And that medical discharge income was taxed. That following year, I took a tax class, a basic tax class, I might add, and found out that my medical discharge income should not have been taxed because it was disability income.
Wow. Wow.
And I amended my tax return. I got my money back. And I immediately thought to myself, how many people don't know basic tax law that could hurt them or help them? And I started doing taxes, and that was well over 25 years ago.
Every penny counts, Kasey.
It does. And especially now, oh my God, we're in this time right now. I don't know if by time the podcast here, I'm praying it'll be over by time that happens. We're in a government shutdown and everybody needs every penny, which, by the way, this is the perfect time for anyone out there who's listening. Start a business.
Start a business. Exactly. Start a business. It's not something that you do lightly. Definitely not. But I can tell you one thing, and I'm sure Kasey can relate to this and support it as well. It was the best decision of my life when I went out and started my own law firm. It was the best. If I had to do it all over again, Kasey, I would do it exactly the same way. I'm not dependent on someone else. And just imagine that, business owners and even entrepreneurs that are listening to the podcast and contemplating on starting their business. There's nothing more powerful than having your own business. But the one thing that is even more powerful than that is actually gaining knowledge on, one, how to protect yourself and legally, and two, how to keep every penny that you make, because it's hard-earned money.
It is protection on both ends. Protect yourself legally, protect your bottom line. And that is very important, which leads me to one last thing. And this is something very important. And it might not necessarily be connected with the tax reform, but it is a very important tax tip for business owners. And I did a brief tax tip live about what tax is that. I get business owners that come in during tax time, like now, and they want to file their taxes on their business. And only for me to research their business, their paperwork, their filings, regarding what type of business they have, and start asking them questions about sales tax, payroll tax, business end of year contractor payments, all of these things. And they say, well, that's why I'm here to file my tax return. No, your sales tax is due at a different time. Your payroll tax is due at a different time. It can be quarterly, it can be annually. But all of these things are not a one type tax. And so I have what tax is that, or the ABCs of taxes, because there are multiple organizations out there that have a tax. We are here in California, so a business owner could be subject up to 8 different types of tax. You have a payroll tax, a sales tax, a use tax, a business property tax. You have your federal income tax, your state income tax. I'm sorry. Should I stop now?
I'm sitting here just nodding, shaking my head. Good Lord. And it's how is someone supposed to actually make money, Kasey?
They need to come see me and I'll show them how to do it.
Thank you. There you go. Oh, and don't forget the sunshine tax if you're in California. Don't forget that one.
The sunshine tax is probably the most expensive tax of all here in California. But I say that to say this, that even if you're in a different state, let's just say you're in a state that has no state tax, like Texas or Nevada, they have other taxes that you still need to be aware of for your business. So make sure that you're aware of what tax or the ABC of tax that applies to you in your state. And I am federally licensed across all the United States. So the information I give on my social media platform applies to all businesses federally. But I also have some expertise in various states because I have clients in all of these various states as well. And I travel and do speaking engagements in these various states as well. So I have to make sure that I have some basic knowledge of these various taxes.
And as a speaker, you are very well sought after. So I was really excited when we could actually book you for the show. So again, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. But your listeners are very, very near and dear to my heart because I know they follow you and you're well respected and I appreciate everything you do. And yes, Kelly handles my business legal affairs as well.
Full disclosure. We're not letting you off the hook just yet, Kasey.
Okay.
And so I have actually, first of all, I love the name Tax Tip Diva. So if you have seen Kasey, and I highly recommend that you go to even my Instagram page, is simply Kelly Bagler. Follow me, or better still, follow me and Kasey. Kasey's is Tax Tip Diva.
The Tax Tip Diva.
The Tax Tip Diva. The Tax Tip Diva.
Yes.
And you will see just her personality. It's magnanimous. You have to see Kasey. Absolutely. So the platforms that you have, you would like our listeners to follow you on Instagram, The Tax Tip Diva.
Yes.
And Facebook?
And Facebook. I am The Tax Tip Diva on Facebook as well.
Of course you are.
And the website is thetaxtipdiva.com.
Perfect. And for the ones that actually miss your live shows.
Yes.
And how can they go back and listen to those?
So some of the lives that I have recorded are free and they are still up on my Instagram platform.
You're just giving it away.
Not all of them. So there is one that I recorded on mileage, which covers a lot of information that business owners don't know. And while they might think, oh, I track my mileage on my app, there's at least 3 other things that they need to be doing and that they need to understand the IRS is looking for rather than just your printout from your mileage app. So that includes a worksheet. So I have that for sale and they can get that on my website, thetaxtipdiva.com. And it is a e-course bundle. Also, I will be doing a live this Sunday. And it is going to be considered a master class. And the difference between a master class and a tax tip live or a tax gem is the fact that it's a little bit more extensive. So it's going to be at least an hour of me teaching and educating and going over things in depth. It will also include worksheets that will be available. The worksheets will be for sale after the live. The live will not be available for replay. You will have to purchase it. However, if you purchase it in advance, there is a discount. I know this is a delayed recording, so I will honor the discount for your listeners. So your listeners need to go on my website and they will get a discount on all of my products, and they just need to message us, sign up for the Tax Tip Diva, and they will get a special code that will give them a discount on all the products on our website.
Well, thank you so much for that. I'm sure the listeners are absolutely grateful. And when they do message you, all they need to say is, heard you on Go Legal Yourself
Go Legal
podcast. There you go.
Or Kelly Bagler. Any of those words. The Queen of Business Law.
There you go.
Any of those things, and I will immediately know because there's only one.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, Kasey, in our parting, and I know we could go on for hours and hours, and I would love to, but we're definitely going to have you back because I know after people listen to this show, they want you back on again. And in fact, maybe we should do once a month. Exactly. Tax tip and legal divas.
Oh my.
tax and legal go hand in hand.
They do.
They do. They do. Can you leave the audience with something that they should really pay attention to?
I will. One thing I want to let the listeners know is make sure you're connecting with your tax professional.
Not just once a year.
Not just once a year. This is so important. There are things that can help you throughout the year. And if you're just contacting your tax professional now in January, there are things that you could have done in November and December to help your bottom line. And if you weren't in contact with them, it's a little bit too late for those things. And so stay in contact. Reach out to them 2-3 times a year, once a quarter, biannually. Do that. But don't think that you're supposed to come in once a year, sit down, write a check, and have magic happen.
No, it doesn't happen like that. It's with anything, even in business, right? You have to plan. You have to plan to save taxes. You have to plan to save money on your business. And you really have to plan to how are you actually going to become successful by saving more money, right?
Exactly.
Right.
And I am Kasey Ortiz. I'm the Tax Tip Diva. I'm here to help take the fear out of taxes. And I thank you for all the listeners out there. Thank you, Ms. Bagla, for having me on your wonderful podcast that is now internationally known.
Internationally known.
I appreciate it so much.
It is always a pleasure to have you on. And again, like I said, knowledge is power. And to gain knowledge from such an expert like you, again, you're just giving it away. We need to talk about that. So we will have on our show notes how people can get a hold of you.
Yes.
But let us know one more time, how can they follow you and how can they get a hold of you?
Follow me on IG, Instagram. I am the Tax Tip Diva. You can follow me on Facebook, the Tax Tip Diva, or feel free to go to our website, thetaxtipdiva.com, and there is a contact me page. If you follow me on IG, you can always message me, and the same on Facebook as well. And we are very responsive. We respond to all our messages.
That's fantastic. And if you didn't get that, it's the Tax Tip Diva. And feel free to leave Go Legal Yourself a comment, question, even questions for our guests, even for Kasey, and we'll be happy to pass those along. And don't forget to download the app, Go Legal Yourself, from your app stores. It is, once you download that, you will get a copy of my free ebook. It has become a bestseller on Amazon. Proud of that. By the way, Miss Kasey, I believe you have one other thing to share with the audience, don't you?
I do.
Yes, you do.
I am putting the finishing touches on my book, which will be a series and be the Tax Tip Diva series. And I'm putting the finishing touches on my first book. Hope to have it out early spring.
We're going to hold you to that.
Yes, I know. And now that I've put it out here on this podcast, I have no choice.
It's gone out to the universe now. You must.
Now the fire is lit.
So once you do publish the book, we're going to have you on immediately, because I know the audience wants to follow you. They want to buy that book because it's going to be full of gems. I know that.
Oh, it's full of gems.
Let me just ask you, and I mean you, audience. When was the last time your tax professional gave you a book with all these gems that you don't know of? Yeah, that's what I thought. Complete silence. It truly is extremely important that you do follow professionals like Kasey, and this book that she's going to be publishing soon is going to be a complete gem. And remember, the only way you do become successful is if you make today the day you go legal yourself. We want to thank you one more time, Miss Kasey, the Tax Tip Diva, and we are going to have you back again once you publish the book. I am Kelly Bagler, the Queen of Business Law. It has been my pleasure being your host today. Until next time, cheers to your success.